This video was called George W. Bush and J.A. the key to the destruction of the Cabal. Now, I'm about to expand on a theory which, proven right, I and some others will be called geniuses, so that's a bit of an exaggeration, or I'm going to be called an idiot. I'm hoping that the Julian Assange arrest is to do with him testifying about who really leaked the DNC Clinton emails, which of course we believe is the murdered DNC staffer Seth Rich. And if you got half a brain, we all know who he believed had him murdered. And also giving out the rest of the information he knows on Hillary Clinton and the Cabal. I'm believing in that. I have to believe in that. I can't be that invested in this and then just give up. This will be the real test of if Trump really is what most of us think he is the Assange arrest. I'm here to tell you about something else and also to expand on Polly's video the other day about the Clinton crime mob and them using the government to get the other mobs out of the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people think that Julian Assange is the only key. In my opinion, he's not the only key, and he doesn't even have the most devastating information. In my opinion, do you know who the key is? Wait for it. It's George W. Bush. Now, before you laugh at me, a lot of people, including Dr. Dave Jander, who used to work for HW's administration and the end of Ronald Reagan's administration, believed that George W. Bush flipped. And some of those envelopes that were given out at the Bush funeral were to do with the upcoming testimony of George W. Bush on the event that we're not allowed to talk about, or else this video will get taken down. Let's just call it 911, Bush's testimony on 911. But in my opinion, that's only a short segment of what George W. Bush may testify about. I think he's going to testify about Iran-Contra, Mena, Arkansas, possibly Vince Foster's, in inverted commas, mysterious death, and it may all come out, and it'll shock the nation, but it won't shock us. And the reason I believe that George W. Bush has flipped, in my opinion, he's not as much of a black heart as his father, and I believe he's got some guilt about some things that the Cabal have done in the past. He wants to absolve himself of some guilt. Until, I believe, he wants to save his family. I believe in those secret meetings with Trump that he had just after Trump got in. I believe, along with a few others, that George W. Bush told Trump, put Barr in and I'll go down for all the Bush crimes and I'll sacrifice myself for my family. You leave the rest of my family alone and I'll give you all the information on the Clintons you want. We all know the story about Vince Foster, about how the body was moved, about how the evidence entry and exit and the wound didn't match. We all know those things, but what some of you don't know is who else was around at the time of the Vince Foster probe, and many people believed helped shut it down. Newly appointed Supreme Court Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Now, why would Donald Trump put who everyone knows is an establishment Bush globalist, William Barr, in as Attorney General and Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court? Well, I'll tell you why. Trump's got all the dirt on these people, and many people believed Trump was a mole and helped people bring down these mob guys in the 1980s. And what's better to use? People that you've got dirt on, who you can threaten, who, if they don't do their job, you can expose them, or people that you've got nothing on. I'd suggest people that you've got a lot on are more inclined to help you clean up the swamp to save themselves, wouldn't you? If you watch the Bush funeral, there are two Secret Service guys behind George W. Bush, and, there are no Secret Service guys surrounding anyone else. And also, when Laura Bush shows Jeb Bush that envelope, Laura shows Jeb the envelope. Jeb looks like he's been shot, and George W. Bush bows his head as their casket goes past. Now, I believe George W. Bush is in witness protection after Julian Assange testifies, which everyone is going to think will bring the house down. You wait till the George W. Bush testimony, ladies and gentlemen. You just wait, because that is going to shock the world, in my opinion. George W. Bush, a Cabal member, is the key to bringing the whole show down. Anyway, that is all, ladies and gentlemen.